Greetings, YouTubers. Well, today, '06 Trailblazer. When I go to start it up, it starts pretty good, but as soon as I drop it down in gear, I hear something that sounds like a marble in a tin can when I go to take off. Now, I've got a couple of check engine lights on. The noise is actually turned on the knock sensor. The computer thinks the knock sensor is hearing a pinging sound from the engine. So let me go ahead and start this up. Now, it doesn't do it while it's idling. It only does it when I put it in gear and go to take off. So what I've got to do, I'll roll the window down here. It's almost the same noise I heard in the Explorer that I used to have, but that was a rattling kind of a noise, which I did a video on. And that was actually the catalytics, the converters all broken up, ruined inside the catalytic converter. And when we take off, catalytic converter, some people say catalytic, some people say catalytic, but when you get to take off, it would rattle, sound like marbles in a can. Well, this one here, I don't think it's that. It sounds like it's up near the torque converter. So we're going to take off. I got the door open. Let me get out here on the highway. No one's coming. Pull up here a little bit. Now I'm going to hit the gas here. We'll take off, and I want you to listen to this. I don't know if you can hear that. Sounds like something behind a flywheel, maybe. I don't know. Very strange noise. So now I'm gonna have to go down my alley here, my little road. I want to drop it back down in gear. I'm gonna hold the door open with my foot because it wants to go shut. We'll do it one more time. There it was. So not sure what that is. Let me look at the code reader here real quick. Now I can show you on the code reader here. I've got a PO P0302. That's slight miss in number 2. Still haven't figured that out. And let's see, 1 of 3. There we go. Knock sensor circuit. I know my knock sensor's okay. That noise started and this code came up, so it's kind of like the engine think the knock sensor is hearing pinging noise, and it's kind of giving me a code. So we have to go and figure that out. And this code here, the 302, it's got, I've done everything on that cylinder. I'm not sure why I'm getting a slight miss, and looks like you can't really feel it though when you're driving it. And of course, I've replaced the fuel cap, and we still got this one here kind of, it's been so cold and icy and snow, it's been hard to work on this, but I wanted to go ahead and get this noise fixed. Very annoying. So what we're going to do, pull this up on ramps, we're going to start it up, and when it's up on an angle like this, you can still hear it. So we're going to get underneath of it, check it out. Alright, so hey, maybe this video will get like 56,000 views within the next 6 hours. I don't that's a joke, of course. Anyway, maybe I'll get 30 views, I don't know, in the next 6 days or something, I don't know. Anyway, the algorithm is broken. That noise, I did go ahead and check out this fan. I thought maybe something came down and was hitting this and making that noise, but everything here checks out. It's tight. And when I hear the noise, it sounds like it's coming right down here, and there's a starter down there. I'm wondering if the head of that starter, something has happened. I don't think you can see. There you go. The starter's right about there. I think what we're going to do, we'll put it up on a ramp, start it up, go back up underneath. I got an inspection camera. I stuck a inspection camera up in there, and I didn't see anything. I thought maybe something was on top of the flywheel, a piece of metal or something. As that torque converter was spinning, it was bouncing around and making that noise. And I didn't see anything, but we'll do it again for you guys. And everything here seems to be okay on this part up here. Real quick, one thing I wanted to show you. This is off of a Trailblazer starter. Older starter. I think it's still good. It's only held in by 2 bolts, one there and one here. And it sits about, I think like that. See, about like that. Top one you can pretty much, I think it's the top one you can get to. No, it's this bolt here you can get to. This one's kind of hard to get to, but I'm wondering if something has come off, gotten broken off on the starter and still is lodged in there. When that flywheel is spinning, it's making that noise. So, but the starter on the vehicle does work. I will say sometimes when I go to start it, the starter doesn't fully engage because it has a fuel pressure problem sometimes. It bleeds off, and these starters are electronic. When you go to hit the key, meaning the computer engages the starter through the solenoid and all that. And sometimes it'll engage all the way, and just about the time it's ready to start, it'll disengage, and you can kind of hear it hitting the flywheel on that torque converter on that Trailblazer there. So not sure what's going on. Whatever that noise is, I really think it's starter related. Something's happening there. So there's a look at the starter. So let's go ahead and get this thing up on the ramps. All right, I got her up on ramps here. I got the lock there, and need to hit the emergency brake. At least this one works. Let's go ahead and start it up. I don't know if it'll do it or not. We'll find out. And we'll crop under here. And I do have the inspection panels already pulled off. Oh, hear that? I hear it. Crawl up under here. Kind of a mystery. It's in this area. I've already checked the torque converter bolts. They're tight. There's only 3 of them. Alright, so let me shut the car off. Alright guys, so I've looked everywhere. Now one thing I have noticed, if I shine this light at a certain angle with the camera here, on that flywheel, there is some marks back there. It's like all, see that shininess up above the teeth? It's almost like something is in there, and it's kind of rubbing that right there. So we got something up on the top of this torque converter that's stuck up there, and it's bouncing around and riding on that back of that flywheel, making that noise. Because I got a screwdriver here, and if I tap on this, it's almost the same harmonics that piece is making right there. That, my transmission job, well, turned out pretty good. It's just perfectly, not a drop of oil, fluid or anything. I even replaced that front seal. Dry all the way back. So I just gotta figure out what's going on with that. So unfortunately, looks like the starter is coming off next. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get the inspection camera here kind of set up, and we'll go into there and give you guys a look real quick around that flywheel in there, that starter. Alright, so I got the inspection camera up in there, and you can see there's the teeth on the starter, and there's actually the starter, and it looks okay from there. So I am kind of stumped, and I don't see anything here. If whatever it is, it's on the other side, and I'm not going to be able to get past there, so that's why we're going to have to take the starter off. So, oh well, it is what it is. Hey, let me know where you're watching from right now. Alright, so for what it's worth, I am up in the air, so I have pretty long arms. I'm about 6'1". So to make the job a little easier, I've gone ahead and just kind of unbolted this computer. Actually, there's a clip that it slides out of the harness. There's a harness that goes on the bottom. Kind of pull this back and leave all that connected, and there's like a bracket it goes into. I've taken those bolts out, and they're like right here. Because you do have a little wiring harness, and see, I can get my hand right here where that computer was, and it makes it a little bit easier to move some of the stuff back to get to this top bolt. Now the bottom bolt already broke loose. It was easy. It was a 15 mil. The one on the top, if I put a little extension in here, and if I put my hand right here, I can actually feel it back there. So it's going to take a little magician work here, and I think, let's see, how big is the starter? It's not terribly big. Once I get that one bolt out, it should come right out, and I apologize, you can't really see where the starter is, but it's, trust me, they put it up in there, it's right there. So I got the bottom bolt out down here on the bottom. It's really loose. I'm going to go ahead and try to take this top one out. And I've got a little guy here, but I'm not going to try to do it on that. I'm just going to use a regular ratchet and get a good feel for it. Now there is one sensor wire right here. Right there, there's a solenoid right there. Just unplug that and pull this back the best you can. You can probably do this from the bottom, but I don't know. There's probably not a lot of room. So you're probably going to have to do it from the top here, and you're probably going to say some words you haven't said in a long time. So let me go ahead and see if we can get this loose, and I really need to go ahead and unhook the battery because I'm going to lose the memory anyway. So unhook the battery so we can get the starter out and see if that noise is in there. All right, I don't know if you can see my hand there, but I actually got that right out. It came right out. I had to put both hands on the socket. And I put my finger back here to keep it from falling out. And there it is. So that one's out. I'm going to go ahead and finish taking that bottom one out. And we'll pull that starter back. So the socket I'm using here is a 15. And I'm using probably a 5-inch little bar. You don't want nothing too short. You don't want nothing too long. And here's the short one here. I thought this was just a little too short. But this one here, it worked out better. All right. That's about off. Of course, I cheated. I wanted to make it a little faster, and I hold the camera just right there with my finger. That's a bolt. I think it's a bolt. Yeah. All right, starter's loose. Actually, I'm going to have to. There it goes. Oh, she's tight. I think the weight of the starter. No, it's just rusty, so I need to go ahead and twist that out just a little bit more. All right, there we go. Get the socket up out of here and the tool. And now we'll go ahead and I think we can grab the bolt. Okay, I think you can probably even see it down there now, sticking out right there. Right about there. To the starter. And there's that bolt. So now all I have to do is go ahead and pull that starter back. I think I can pull it back far enough. Maybe to see what's going on. I'll grab it by the solenoid here and see. Oh, okay, good. Oh, yes, pull it way back out of the way. All right, so there it is. And there's the flywheel. Now I'm going to have to get my light and shine in there. All right, before we do that, too, let's look at the starter here. And I don't see anything broken. I thought maybe something gotten broken off on this and got lodged in there, but that's okay. I don't see nothing missing, broken. Oh. So now what we're going to do is grab our inspection camera and a flashlight. Actually, take the light, get this wire out of the way just a little bit there, and shine in that hole. And I don't think you can see very well, but I don't see anything there. So what in the tarnation is making that noise? Alright, let me get my inspection camera and go in here this way. Alright guys, so I was just about ready to give up, and of course I've got to milk the video. I found the issue. So get back under here, and inspection camera. I went everywhere. I was looking for maybe some of the flywheel bolts backed out, or maybe the bolts on the back of the crank. Didn't see a thing, and you can see everything looks really good. Nothing up in here. And I got to thinking, well, if there's nothing in there, then what you took out probably is the problem. So let me shut this off here. No point in leaving that on. Ouch, I just hit my head again. So we go over here. Here is, I know this starter is good because I've had it for a while. It's a backup starter. You see how that gear, when I let go of that, springs back in. I think you know where I'm going now. See? Goes back in. Kind of excited that I found this. This is why I love doing these videos. Here's this starter. Watch when I do that to this. How loose that is. The spring's broke. Yeah, I know it's sitting downwards, but if I turn it on its side, it won't spring back. Let me show you. Tell you what we'll do. We'll just pull the starter out. I just took off the two little bolts here and just drop it out of here and pull it out. We'll look at it in daylight so you can see what I'm trying to tell you. And there we go. Little 14 and a little teeny tiny bolt right there. Check this out. See that? Well, let's just go over here. I'm too excited to show you these things. Starter that was on mine. Starter that I've had for a while. Alright, basically off of a Trailblazer. If I do that to this, upside down, that stays up in there. If I do that to this one, there's your noise. That's not going all the way back in, and it's hitting the flywheel. See? So that spring in there broke. This one don't do that. You pull it out, it'll go back in. See? So there's a problem. You ain't supposed to be doing that, buddy. You're supposed to be staying in like that. So there's the issue. And the reason it was doing it when I was taking off, the G-force was pushing it back toward the flywheel, and it was going ding, 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 ding. Then when I would let off the gas, it would go back in. So it won't even come out. So now all we gotta do is just put this starter on. They're pretty much identical. So I am so lucky I had a starter here that would work. So I will have to change a couple of these things around. So I'll come back here in a little bit and do that. So I'm glad you tuned in, folks. This probably is going to happen to you. If you have a Trailblazer, if you have a Trailblazer and you hear the same noise I've got, this is more than likely your issue. Alright, I just want to show you what I'm doing here. I'm going to take this solenoid off and put my original solenoid on here, because I really want to get that one on there. Because I think there's a connection here, because I know when the solenoid here engages the starter, it flips us out, then it goes back in. It goes in one direction. I forget which way it goes. I'm wondering if now the solenoid would be good, because when I get started, it does push it out. So the forks that operate it apparently has broken inside the starter. That's what's happened right there. So anyway, I wanted to take this solenoid off because it has better threads, and also it's not as rusty. And this one here, I had to disconnect some of this anyway, because this nut here was pretty rusted and stripped out. But I'm going to put my new solenoid on here anyway. Now, in order to get these off, you got to have a special tool set here. You got to have this little, something they call an E-type star socket set. And I picked these up on, I don't know, eBay for like 25 bucks, free shipping. And they go all the way from all the way to E4 all the way up to E20. And the one I'm using on this to get the solenoid off is, looks like an E6. And they are these little tiny screws right here. So I'll have to use both hands, but we'll pop this off real quick. Alright, so we just about got this one out here, and you can see it's already loose. And the other reason I got to take this old one off here on the starter I'm going to use is this nut right here is stripped. I can't get this off because this wire's been cut on the old one. And this one over here, we're good to go. So this is why I got to take this off. And also, I just remembered when I went to start this thing up, and I said I thought it was a fuel pressure, something wrong with it earlier in the video. It would disengage and kind of engage, and it would hit the flywheel, make a little bit of noise like it was something I was doing. It was in this the whole time. The fork here wasn't engaging it at 100%, so it was broken. This solenoid would engage, but it would kind of float around back and forth. It wasn't in the full outward position, and that's what I've been hearing. So the car should start up great after I get this taken care of. Alright, so you can see these are real special looking bolts. So I'm going to swap this around. Enough talking, I guess. Alright, so there's that. And alright, so that piece is good. That's got a nice little springy action to it. And there's the little fork. See, that's what, if you push on this, let's spin this around here real quick. If you push on that right there, like I just did, watch this. See, it'll engage outwards. If I can grab it, there we go. But anyway, see, the spring should push it back in, and that's what's not happening with that one over there. All right, I'll tear that one apart and we'll probably find what's wrong with it now. All right, so we're just about to get this bolt out, and this is the starter that was broken. And the only thing I didn't do, oh, I forgot to take this nut off back here. Let me take that off because I don't want to end up breaking that. All right, well, like everything else in life, this is a problem. I can't get this nut here off. And the whole thing's spinning, and I need to get this off. And before we go get a solenoid, here's the reason why. Another starter. See this bolt right here? It just spins and spins. And all I needed to do was get this wire off, and I could have used this solenoid. Oh well, so that's the way it goes. Alright, I'll be back here, we'll figure out something. Alright, we're not playing games now. That's right, for $100 we got us a new starter. The local auto parts store had a coupon for $10 off. And this is, I think, a Car Quest or something. So I think this is the route we're going to go because they did not have solenoids for these. And we'll go ahead and put this on, and that should pretty much take care of this video. So it's nice we got a brand new starter, and I drive it. This is my daily driver, so not going to hurt anything. This will make me have more confidence in the vehicle. And no more hard starting. Should start up on a dime every time. Alright, so just like a master at fixing, as some of you probably are almost, we are done with the starter. It is on. Pretty easy to do. And there's a look at it. Got kind of dark on me out here. It's all hooked up. All we got to do is start it up. But I think what I want to do first is go ahead and pull the other starter apart and see why it failed. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and hook up all the batteries and stuff here because the sun has gone down. Pretty dark out here on this winter day. And we'll pull that starter apart and come back here and start this thing up and see how it sounds. Oh, and by the way, you can see where the starter is, where the red tag is. Right there, right down there, where I'm pointing at, that is where your crank sensor and knock sensor is. So it's fairly easy to get to if you ever have an issue with that. All right, let's go ahead and wrap things up here and get this thing started up and all that. All right, we got a new day out here, and inquiring minds want to know what happened to the old starter. Well, I got it apart, and right here is the fork, and we'll see this right here, this piece, this little washer. Well, it came out completely. It just it's not staying where it's supposed to. It's supposed to stay up on this little ridge right back here in the back, about like that. And when you let off on the starter, it goes like this and pulls this whole unit back in. It's not doing it, so that's what the issue is right there. A little piece right there got broke off. So anyway, we got us a new starter, so let's go ahead and start it up. All right, so we got all the plugs back in, the transmission on the bottom of it. Everything's good. Let's go ahead and start it up for the first time here and see if it makes any more noise. We'll turn the key on, prime it, get the pump running. It's up kind of high, so it may, I'm very low on fuel, so I gotta be careful. So here we go. Oh, it sounds so much better. Get this thing back on the level, because these fuel tanks have the pump kind of far in the back, so if you're up on an incline, the fuel goes all the way to the back if you're low, and it will run out of gas. So hey, sounds great. Put it back in gear, see if we get any more noise. Give it some gas now while it's in gear, and that noise is gone, folks. So the starter was the problem. Yay, we fixed it. I like it when a plan comes together. All right, so we got back in gear. We'll hold the door open. We're gonna take off now. No more noise. Yay! Do it one more time. Yes, that noise is gone. So hey guys, thanks for sticking with me through the video. Alright guys, and just like that, no more noise, and we are done. So sometimes these things will make you scratch your head, but you just got to kind of take your time and work with the tools that you got and try to figure it out and fix it. So until my next video guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.